Today we're talking about why the INFJ loves to be breadcrumbed and how this behavior can actually lead to an anxious attachment. So as INFJs, it's not like we're not aware when people are manipulating us or when they're throwing those metaphorical breadcrumbs at us. We are aware of that. But the thing is this, as INFJs, we actually want this. We enjoy this process. And if we're not aware of what's actually going on, why we're attached to this, why we want to be breadcrumbed, we're going to get ourselves in a lot of trouble. On the other hand, once we understand why we love this so much, we can use this as a tool in our toolbox and we can create amazing results in our life. So today, let's dive into this current topic that's going around the internet. Everywhere I look at, we're talking about breadcrumbing and how the INFJ deals with that phenomenon. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you haven't done this so far, to download the free poster on the INFJ Epic Life formula. And if you want to take it to the next level, then get the INFJ Epic Life audio guide. It will help you to really kickstart your INFJ Epic Life journey. Everything you need to know, you can find in the links in the description. So for the ones of you who are not aware of this current trend that everybody's talking about, it's all about, I don't want to be okay with breadcrumbs. Like, leave it alone. If people are giving you the bare minimum, just leave them. The thing is this though, we INFJs thrive on this, because what does this actually mean? A person is giving you a little bit of information and then you make up in your mind what you think is going on. So the person is not doing everything they're supposed to do, and you, on the other hand, are going out of your way to close that gap. Does that sound familiar? Yes, it does, because we're INFJs. And this is not something that only happens in romantic relationships. This happens in friendships. This happens with family members, like everybody in our lives, until we recognize why we're doing this. Because most of the time when people are talking about breadcrumbing, it always leads to another person thinking, I'm not worth more. That's all I'm going to accept. And I should be thankful for the fact that they're giving me this little bit and I just feel worthless. And so I'm thankful that somebody is giving me even that. That's not our main issue as INFJs. The thing that we're attracted to is the fact that we are given a little bit of information and we can create an image in our mind. This is what our mind thrives on. This is not a sign of weakness. This is not a sign of codependency. This is not a sign of anxious attachment. But it can lead us to feeling this way. Because what we're doing is the following. We see that somebody has emotions for us. So as I said, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be somebody who wants to be friends with us, somebody who's in our life. It can be a relative. Like, we see that there's emotion that is attached to us. We know that that person values us on some level. And we also have an idea of what's going on in their mind, what their insecurities are, what they would like to have in their life but is missing. And we can be that missing piece. This is one of our biggest skills, right? So we get a little bit of information and with that, we create a pattern. This is something we as INFJs are particularly good at. The problem though is that we INFJs are so eager to fix that problem, as in, oh, I want to understand what's going on. I want to know what's going on in their mind. And if I would find out, well, they're just not interested in me that much, right? They have me as a friend, but they also have somebody else. Or if you would find out, oh, that person has romantic feelings for somebody else way more than for me, that's all good. Like, let them do their thing. That would give us an answer, because our main goal is to solve that puzzle. Our main goal is to understand. This is what we love to do, specifically with our third function as TI, introverted thinking. Like, we overact in this way, right? We overextend ourselves. So every single time we have a challenge of, oh, I need to understand that person and what's going on and why is this happening? And if I could just understand them a little bit better, I could help them. This could lead to a win-win situation. I could be helpful to that person. They would be thankful for me being there and all of those things. But in the entire process of doing this, we completely overlook the fact that if we are connecting to a person who isn't treating us right, it does not matter if that person has genuine feelings for us, if they want to be friends with us, if deep down they have a good core. We have to be aware that we're not superhuman. And if somebody is continuously putting negative energy towards you, it will have an effect on you. We cannot deny it. And the fact is that just because we can take in a lot of information and have like this great image of another person, that does not mean that we can do this and, stay unbothered. That is just a truth of life we have to accept. And for me, that was probably one of the best things I realized because it actually made me feel human. Because then for the first time, I knew I can't keep doing this stuff. Like, I also have a part of me that needs to be protected because I will go overboard, because I want to prove my first function. I want to prove who I am to myself. And the problem with this is that this actually leads to an unhealthy dynamic, because what do we actually want? We want that person to be secure in themselves, and we want us to be secure in ourselves. But it won't work if we are going overboard trying to analyze what's going on with them while they're continuously pulling back, because that's what's going to happen. It actually turns into this unhealthy dynamic of the anxiously attached INFJ and the avoidant side of the other person. I've had this with friendships, I've had this with romantic relationships, I've even had it with relatives. And this all stems from a clear misunderstanding I had about myself. Number one, the fact that you're aware of them manipulating you, the fact that they're insecure or they have some personal problems and that's why they're giving you breadcrumbs, does not justify their behavior. And we are never going to be able to make a person change who they are. We cannot. It is something we have to be aware of because, believe it or not, INFJs are extremely controlling. Yes, I've said it. Because we think of ourselves as those free-flowing individuals who let everybody, live their own life and, that's their subjective reality and that is true for them and so on. But what we misunderstand is that we are trying to keep that person in our lives because of what we're doing for them. We are not there saying, I want you to choose me while I'm choosing myself. We always have to double check. Are there any self-sabotaging behaviors that I'm engaging in that I'm not aware of? Because most of self-sabotaging behaviors are just like that. We're not aware of them. So that's why we continue doing them. And that's why the other person is doing them as well. So yeah, whatever they're going through, even if they're not acting in their own best interest, it is for them to fix. You are great at giving that advice. You're great at fixing problems. But remember, it's a skill. It's not who you are. And what we have to understand is the following. It is really hard for us not to get involved in a situation where we feel like I'm the only one who can save them. I'm the only one who can fix them. Because through my INFJ-ness, I can see what they're struggling with. Nobody else can see it. And it would just be a betrayal to myself not to help that person. But we're not really helping them. We're enabling them. Real help would be for us to start choosing ourselves. Because people are not listening to what you're telling them. People are seeing what you're doing. So if you're telling a person, you're great as you are, don't worry, please believe in yourself and all of that, but you continuously engage in behavior that is not good for you, you're not standing up for yourself because you want to overextend yourself, you want to help them because you want to prove your worth to yourself mainly, you are losing yourself. You're not doing what is in your best interest. What is in your best interest is to be at peace, and while you're at peace, helping others. That's why I'm always saying as INFJs, we need to have a healthy outlet for helping people with our gifts, where we can speak our truth, where we can have a positive impact. And the only way for us to really do that is if we make sure that we're good. So the fact that we are addicted to being breadcrumb isn't a bad thing in itself. It's actually the thing that's going to help us succeed in life. We just have to apply it to a different area. Because if you really use this in your personal relationships, you are doing it at the expense of your own well-being. Because yes, you can look behind the facade. You can look at, why a person is doing this. But if that person doesn't change their behavior, it's not going to get better by you getting even more involved in their thought process. We're doing this because on so many levels, we believe if we choose ourselves, if we're being completely ourselves, if we're really putting up those boundaries and saying, I'm not going to engage in this because it's just not healthy for me, then I'm betraying myself because it's my biggest wish to help people. It's my biggest wish to use the skills that I have as a person. This is my biggest gift to help them get to a better place. But if we look at it at a higher level, we will understand that if we are not in our best, we will be sucked dry. When an INFJ is really forced to door slam, and like really intensive door slam I've done once in my life, and I never ever want to be at that place again, this is a horrible feeling because I'm hurting that person immensely and I'm hurting myself in the process because I hit him where it hurts, and then it's out. Because that person, if they're in an unhealthy behavioral spiral, no matter what you're doing in order to show them, how much they're appreciated, they are not going to accept it. They're not going to see it for what it is. And we're controlling in the sense of, if I'm just being everything that they need me to be, then they're not going to reject me. And this stems from everything we've gone through as kids probably, because being an INFJ is a weird experience for others primarily, because it's not something you see, all the time. It is a unique form of a personality. And so our entire lives, we've conditioned ourselves and we've been conditioned to really learn what is going on with the people around us and how we can show up in a way that they like us. And this is independent of if you had a really great childhood or not. It has also so much to do with the fact that we're INFJs. That's just what it is and what we have to learn. And for me, till this day, this is super difficult. And I'm really proud of myself for getting to a place where I know this is extremely difficult for me, because recognizing that really allows me to put myself first more. It's really incredibly difficult for me if I see a person struggling not to get involved. And what I had to learn is that if I want to truly love, and I don't ever want to be pushed to a place where I have to door slam and be vicious and be really mean because I feel like I have no other choice and I never ever want to be at that place again, I have to protect my sanity. And so there are a couple of things we have to do. First and foremost, we have to find an outlet where we can share our gift. Because if you don't have this, you will do it, as I said, in your closest relationships. We all have to learn to pull back our energy when people are not able to give us more than what they're currently giving us. Don't believe that if you're putting 70% into a relationship and you're getting 30 back, that this is, a working dynamic. It's not. This is actually what is making us more anxiously attached and was making the other person more avoidantly attached. We have to really let go. And I talked about this in the last video. That person, if they want to continue in their self-sabotaging behavior, that's their prerogative. Maybe that's what they have to experience in order to really get to the next level. So the best thing that you can do for the people around you is to actually show them through your actions and through setting an example of what it looks like to choose you. And that means put up those boundaries. Look at people's actions. Don't look at all the hidden meanings behind it. Because no matter how much that person might actually like you, no matter how much they might really appreciate you, you have to think about, what is the love I'm receiving? Do I feel good about myself when I'm around that person? Or do I feel like nothing is getting back to me? I'm not getting any energy back. I'm putting everything on there and I'm just getting a little bit of excitement here and there. Yes, it might create dopamine in our heads because we can make stuff up that is going on and it will make us feel immensely great, but you always feel that something is missing because that person isn't coming closer to you. They're not really giving you a full course meal. At the end of the day, they're giving you breadcrumbs, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact if they like you or not. It's just that's what they're able to give in this current dynamic. And so the best thing that you can do is to say, I'm going to look at people's actions. If they're currently only able to give 30% into this relationship, or maybe 5%, then that's what I'm going to give into this relationship. And I'm really talking about how much space they take up in your mind. And so many INFJs think, and I was definitely one of them, okay, if that person doesn't know that I spend so much of my time thinking about what they're going through or what's happening, it doesn't matter. Yes, it matters. If you are not putting that energy into creating your INFJ epic life, but you're rather focused on, solving a puzzle in like another person's life, although they don't actively appreciate it and really, show that they're making changes in their behavior, then we have to really step out. Like, it just isn't a healthy thing. And the best part about it is once you've gotten to that realization, you're never going back. Yes, your thoughts might go back, and our mind is never able to really handle negative commands, as in, don't think about the pink elephant. What do we think about? The pink elephant, right? What we want is to say, let me focus on the yellow rabbit. The yellow rabbit in this case is creating a life where we can live out our purpose. And our purpose in many cases is speaking out and living out our truth. And our truth will be uncomfortable for people. It will actually lead a lot of people in the place of where they're at, and you will distance yourself from them. So if a person can only give you 30% and you've been giving 70, then you're the one who has to back off. You're the one who has to then match their energy in a way of, if this is all you can give me, then this is also all I can give you. I think I could solve that puzzle, but what for? They're not going to be appreciative of it. They're probably going to be even enabled in their self-sabotaging behavior, and I feel bad. So what I want is, at the end of the day, to speak my truth, and lead by example. And in order to do this, I have to create inner peace. And that means I'm not going overboard. I'm not going to put more into a relationship that I'm getting back. And for a lot of INFJs, this thought is extremely scary. It was extremely scary for me because it's not something that we're used to. But hopefully through channels like mine and, just how the entire INFJ community has developed, we will see that this is not how it's supposed to be. Just because we're used to something and something might feel like home, this is not like the healthiest environment necessarily. And so there is a better way. And the better way is to say, I'm going to create that space for me. If I feel like the only way I can connect with people on such a close level is if I go overboard, then get used to the fact that you are supposed to fill up your cup. You're supposed to make sure that you're whole before you have any kind of relationships with other person. And maybe you're not supposed to have this close of a bond with another person, particularly if it's based on you neglecting your own needs and pushing down who you are and making it comfortable for other people. This is where our comfort zone is. But that's not the place where the magic happens. This is not the place where you are going to feel all that you are and feel like you're living your INFJ epic life. I promise you this, once you embark on the journey of, I'm going to stand on my own, I'm going to be okay, I'm not going to allow people to pull me down because of their pain. I want to help people, but if I want to make sure that I can do this in a way where it's a win-win, or I want to make sure that I'm not going to be depleted, because once I'm depleted, guess what? You're not going to be much of help anyway. I have to first find a way to fill myself up as much as I possibly can. And that means taking a step back and putting your energy into creating your life. So this is really about what's going on in your head. Don't think about, people are never going to find out that I obsess over them. People are never going to find out that I put so much energy into that. Well, you know. So this is the part of self-discipline that we have to learn. And it's really, really hard if you have overextended yourself in this direction. You have created neurological pathways into that addiction. So you can't just tell yourself, don't think of the pink elephant. You have to actively start working towards creating the yellow rabbit in your life until the energy that you create with the yellow rabbit becomes more potent than the energy that you receive through that all toxic behavior. We have to look at ourselves and take full responsibility, because that's the only way how we can learn from a situation and really get to the next level. So it doesn't matter if the person in your life is a narcissist or not. It doesn't matter if the person in your life is suffering or not. It doesn't matter if the person in your life is avoidantly attached or has toxic traits. What matters is that you didn't love yourself enough to get yourself out of that situation. And very often we don't recognize it because we think we can take it. We're thinking, I love myself enough for both of us. It's all good. I want to give from a place of I can take so much so I can give something back. But we very often only understand how human we actually are when we take something like this on board and recognize how we get depleted more and more. We forget what brings us real energy and something that is really sustainable. So that's why I always say, lean into creating your INFJ epic life. And that epic life will include you sharing your gift one way or another, but you will do this while you feel at your best. And every single person who can't accept your gift while you're being your best, they should stay a little bit further away. That doesn't mean that you can't love them. It doesn't mean that you can't wish them the best, but you're never going to allow again for a person to pull you down that much just because you want to help. And I'm not that naive to think that, oh, I will never fall into similar patterns again. But I will know I will never go as far as I used to, because you sometimes have to hit rock bottom to understand that this is your rock bottom, that there is a place where it goes too far, where it will have an effect on your emotional well-being. And very often the reason why we feel like obligated to helping that person in this way, and I'll record a dedicated video to this because I think it's super important, is our shadow function FI. It's about feeling like we're a good person. If we are choosing ourselves, we so often believe we're not a good person. If we put our light on ourselves, it's like, what for? But if you think of it this way, if you want to really be of help, if you really want to help people and make the world a better place, you have to be at your best. And the only way you can be at your best is if you really make sure that you put yourself first and then help people. Like, this urge to help people will not go away. You'll just find an outlet that allows you to do that while you stay healthy. And a great thing that happens through that is actually that the other person sees us as an example of how they could choose themselves. So it's not us who have to go into another person's life and show them how great they are so they see it themselves. It's actually the other way around. We have to see how great we are, and that will inspire others to see what is great in them. Not everybody, because guess what? You cannot control people. You just can't. We want to think we can, and we don't even think of it as something bad because we're not like outwardly pushing a person to do something. But if you really think about it, we very often are trying to control a person by being everything that they need at the expense of our own well-being. And this is not a healthy dynamic. We have to love ourselves first in a way of, look at me, I'm not perfect. I'm not always altruistic and I want to do everything for somebody else. I also want things for myself. I want things. I want to create things. I want to live life epically, right? And to really go out into the world and say, if you don't love this part of me, then that's okay, but that's who I am. Because I don't want to be loved for who I pretend to be. That's always going to leave you empty. If you want to experience real love around you, you have to love yourself first. And that means not making yourself small or altering yourself or your values or whatever it may be in order to make that person comfortable. We need freedom. We need excitement. And if you being all that you are and are following your emotions and getting excited about everything, and that makes another person uncomfortable, then let them decide when they're ready to meet you where you're at. But don't put yourself into their lives thinking that you can fix them. And remember, if you have this urge that you want to help people because otherwise you're going to be a bad person, remember, you can do this after you've taken care of yourself, because that's the only way you can really stay a good person in the long run. Because if not, you're going to be pushed into the corner at some point, and the vicious side of you will come out, and nobody wants this. So remember, somebody breadcrumbing us is exciting because it activates who we are. Like, we are really good at flourishing in this area, but let's really look at breadcrumbs of how society is going to develop, how I can use this, to create a better life for myself when nobody else sees the patterns yet. Don't use this in order to get closer to a person who is not able to receive what you can give. Remember, guys, if you want some more insights how to create the yellow rabbit in your life, so create that INFJ epic life of yours, then check out the free poster on the formula to an INFJ epic life. And if you want to take it to the next level, then get the INFJ epic life audio guide. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in line with today's topic, then check out the video you see on the screen right now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.